Hello, bonjour guys. My name is Alex. I'm French. I'm living in London, UK, and I'd like today to give you some guidance on how to choose a champagne. I am a champagne lover, I am a champagne specialist, and I also adore the web. I adore this idea of free encyclopedia where you can find all the info you need, where you've got so many helpful people to try to give you some information. I love the world, I love people, so I'm going to give you some really essential guidance on how to choose your champagne. So let's start by the first essential question. Why is champagne called champagne? Champagne is called champagne for one reason, because it's a region, it's a French region, not far from Paris, and it's actually like a copyright. So that means no sparkling wine, wherever they come from, can be labeled champagne, unless they come from that region. You've got high regulations in France, very strict, and where the Champagne region and the wine producers can only use certain grapes. You've got only 3 grapes that can be used in champagnes. Chardonnay, it's a white grape used in Chablis and all the white Burgundies, and it's usually very floral or mineral grape. And you've got Pinot Noir used in Burgundy, the red Burgundies, absolutely divine grape, which give flavors of strawberry, raspberry, and you find them in Chevrey Chambertin, Beaune Romanée, Alox Corton, all these famous top Burgundies. And you've got a third grape, which is again a red grape called Pinot Meunier. And Pinot Meunier gives all its roundness to the champagne. So, you didn't know that champagne is a mix of grapes. Apart from the Blanc de Blanc, which is exclusively a vintage with Chardonnay, 100% Chardonnay, most of the champagnes are made with 2/3 of red grapes and 1/3 of white grape. So still it looks white, but I'm going to tell you how that works and the whole process of a champagne making. So what's happening in France, all over France, not only in Champagne, but most of the time the harvests are being made in September or beginning of October, according to the weather conditions. So they harvest the grape, they throw them in vats after pressing them, and they go for a fermentation between a fortnight to a month, according to what the wine producer is deciding, controlling what's happening in the vats. When this is done, they make what is called an assemblage. And an assemblage is a French word to say mixing the grapes. So they don't mix the grapes by fortune. You've got some enologist wine specialists who are taking some Chardonnay, some Pinot Noir, and they try to get the right balance. They are absolutely real artists. They mix it, they check the smell, they check the acidity, and once they've decided, they put everything in bottles for a second fermentation, because they do a second fermentation in bottles. So they put a temporary top, like a beer capsule, and they seal the bottles like that, because they've put some yeast and sugar, about 10 grams of each. So all the yeast and sugar would be concentrating in the neck of a bottle, and every week for 1.5 years they turn the bottle a quarter and they monitor the whole process like this. When this is done, when they've kept the bottle for 1.5 years in cellars with regular temperature around 12 degrees Celsius and with a high level of humidity, what they do is called dégorgement. So they take the bottles, they go to a small machine, and the small machine actually freezes the neck, the depot, yeast and sugar, and take off the temporary capsule and then put the initial stuff that we all know. And they usually keep the bottles in cellars for a while, sometimes for years before selling them. You may have drunk some Moët Chandon, you may have drunk some Laurent Perrier or Veuve Clicquot, all these big names. Do you know that about 5,000 people label champagne? And all these big names are not actually champagne producers, because they buy their grapes from the winemakers. And the reason for that is because the winemakers, from generation to generation, they make their wines. They're absolute artists, but they don't know how to sell them. So all these big companies are just middlemen. And you know what's the funny story about that? If the winemakers in Champagne were putting themselves together, they would just refuse to sell any more grapes to Moët Chandon, Veuve Clicquot, and all these big companies, and they would make them bankrupt. Is that not amazing? I know, it's absolutely surprising. So, you know, when you drink a big label or a well-known label, the quality of your champagne is very average. When you drink that kind of champagne, as you can see, the bubbles are absolutely fine. You smell it, there's a lovely, lovely smell for that champagne rosé of strawberry, raspberry, and when you taste it, my god, this is absolutely amazing. This is so elegant. I've got on top of my tongue this raspberry flavor invading my mouth, fine bubbles. This is the absolute quintessence of all these earthy products. And there's one way, there's one simple way to find this authentic champagne, is to search for independent winemakers. The Independent Winemakers is a French association where you can find these people who just from grape to bottle, there is only one man. And you could get some more info if you log on my website, which is www.makeitfrench.co.uk, and you'll find some information on the independent winemakers. And if you've got a message to send me, you can email me at alex@makeitfrench.co.uk. And if you've got any question on the website, there's plenty of relevant info, and I'd be delighted to answer to you and to guide you a bit more, because really wine is my passion, and a passion has to be shared, and I want to share that with you.